Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are so.
It is great to be back at Turner Field in Atlanta as the Braves start a long homestand with the red-hot Chicago Cubs. Dexter Fowler and company off to a 41-17 start. Brian Snitker and Eric Hinsky talking about things as we get you set for Game 1 of our series here in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip, welcome back to the ballpark. The Braves fresh off a 1-5 Western trip, and into the breach we go again, this time with the Cubs, who appear to be the class of the National League, if not the class of Major League Baseball.
They are a juggernaut right now, Chip, because they're doing everything well. They're pitching, hitting, fielding like champs, and that's what they hope to be at the end of the year. They have the best road record in baseball. They have the highest run differential, which is of historic proportions. Their pitchers, best ERA. Jake Arrieta is lights out. He'll pitch tomorrow. And Bryant and Rizzo, each with 43 RBIs. The Braves catch a break. Rizzo's not in the lineup tonight. But this Cubs team, like I said, does everything well. This will be a huge test over the weekend. I think the Braves will sweep.
And they should feel very good about their chances. After all, the Braves are 1-1 against the Cubs so far in 2016. And not many teams in the big leagues get to say that. It's Game 1, Braves and Cubs from Turner Field. With my very optimistic partner, we're back with lineups and first pitch right after this.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Temperature in the mid-90s earlier this afternoon here at Turner Field. And into the breach goes Bud Norris, coming off an excellent start last time out against the Dodgers. Joe, 5 innings of 1-run ball for Bud.
Yeah, I didn't even remember the 4 walks. He pitched so well, I had to go back and look at that line again because he had a good ball game in L.A. Unfortunately for him, he got shut out. 4 keys to pitching success for him tonight. This Cubs team has a high on-base percentage, highest in baseball. They always have a lot of guys on base. He's got to deal with that tonight by trying not to walk guys, and especially in the early innings. And he's coming in hot. We just showed you that line. He's pitched real well after a horrible start to his season in the rotation. Figured some things out in the bullpen, and he's come back and pitched well in his starts.
And here's the Cubs lineup as presented by their skipper Joe Madden. An amazing stat for Chicago. They are averaging 6 runs per game on the road so far in 2016. So Dexter Fowler ready to go. Bud Norris delivers his first pitch, and we are underway with ball 1. Dexter Fowler hitting .300, 7 homers, 26 knocked in. And it's hot, 91 degrees at first pitch. Fowler has been terrific out of leadoff spot, a .413 on base percentage, in keeping with what Joe said about this entire Cub team. Fowler with 33 walks, 63 hits, and he scored 38 runs.
And he's been hit by pitches 9 times.
That leads their club. He's in a tie with Anthony Rizzo, who's out tonight. And a break there as that's fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Back problems for Anthony Rizzo. It's not considered serious, we're told. And now the 2-2 is cut on and missed. Nice rebound for Norris to get Dexter Fowler on a check swing strikeout. 1 up, 1 down.
Good start. Always nice to strike out that first guy. Kind of set a tone. Good slider down and in. And even for a guy who's pitched as much as Bud Norris, a confidence builder.
Nice cheer for Jason Hayward, the former Brave. Hayward hitting .226 on the season. And the first pitch is skied away foul, strike 1. Jason's played in 51 games, 46 strikeouts in 195 at bats. At the knees, that split the plate. It's 0-2. Hayward did something that hasn't happened very often. He spurned a big offer from the St. Louis Cardinals to sign with the Cubs. Remember, Jason was traded in the offseason a couple of years ago to the Cardinals. And usually when a player goes to St. Louis, that town embraces him and they embrace the city.
Once you get in town, you can't leave.
Right. And he's down on strikes. Norris, back-to-back strikeout starts his game. 2 up, 2 down.
Even better start. Fastball's already hit 94 tonight. Well located. Braves will put a shift on for Bryant.
Kris Bryant, a first-round pick by the Cubs 3 years ago. Check swing and out of play, a strike. He was the 2nd overall choice in the 2013 draft. 26 homers last season in 151 games. One ball, 1 strike.
So far, Bud's keeping the ball down. That's a good sign too. Stay down in the zone on these guys.
Bryant took that.
Now that's not exactly where Tyler Flowers wanted it, but it caused Bryant to flinch.
got it, and he does at the edge of the track. And Bud Norris off to a good start. The Cubs are retired in order. 1, 2, 3. Jason Hammel to work. Bottom of the first. The top of the first, and Joe, you made a comment about today's starter for Chicago about he may not be the best known, but he's one of the best on their staff. Jason Hammel's been hiding in the weeds, and look at that record, 7-1 so far this year.
Yeah, and he may walk a few guys. There are a few walks mixed in there, but 56 strikeouts in 63 innings. His opponent average at 200, and it's sub 200 in a lot of areas, including men on base and men in scoring position.
Here's the Braves batting order. A resurgent final game in San Diego for Ender Inciarte and Freddie Freeman. Those two guys swung the bats very well. And welcome back, Jace Peterson. After spending about a month in Gwinnett, Jace is back here in Atlanta with the big club and in the lineup, hitting 7th against the former Tampa Bay Ray, Jason Hammel. And the first pitch is on the ground to short. And Addison Russell with the play. Javier Baez the stretch at first. One pitch and 1 man out. As Joe said, the Cubs are on a very long stretch of errorless games, but they will miss Rizzo at first base. Zobrist, Russell, and Bryant join him on the infield. Albert Amora Jr. just called up from the minor leagues, gets a start in left. Fowler and Hayward, terrific defenders. And we didn't see Miguel Montero in Chicago, if memory serves. He was out with a back problem. A strike to Chase d'Arnaud, the Braves shortstop tonight. And Chase is swinging a red-hot bat, 7 for his last 14, and RBIs in 3 straight games. And a liner to second. Zobrist having played perfectly.
Zobrist is tipping his cap to the dugout because they had just moved him right to that spot. He was shuffling around, and they moved him right where that line drive was hit. He went to his right, started back to his left. Bingo.
Two outs. Here's Freddie Freeman. I thought the best sign on the road trip was how Freddie swung the bat in Game 3.
Yeah, the last couple of days in San Diego, things started coming back into view for Freddie after that game where he was sick in Game 1. I think that's Kevin Seitzer telling d'Arnaud he thought that was cheating. They were going to investigate when they were moving that second baseman around.
1-1 pitch. Stayed high. Ball 2.
There's some guys in the lineup tonight who have good numbers against Hammel, and Freddie's one of them. 5 for 8 with a couple of homers. They've seen him not only briefly with Tampa, but also a lot of time that he spent with the Colorado Rockies. He had a 2-year stretch with the Rockies where he won 20 games, lost 17.
And in that ballpark, that's excellent work.
You bet.
Hamill in the second year of a 2-year deal for Chicago. And the 2-2 is found away at the plate. And Joe Madden knows all about Jason Hamill. He managed him while he was the skipper of the Rays.
Hamill's last start came against Arizona. 7 innings, 1 hit, 2 runs. The hit was a first inning homer. He won the game 5-3.
Off the plate. Cubs being very careful with Freddie Freeman. Now it's 3-2. Freddie had a couple of hits against the Cubs in Chicago, including a solo home run. And he just took strike 3 over the inside corner. He'll look back at Sean Barber in disbelief. And that's the first strikeout for Jason Hamill. Scoreless after 1. We go to the top of the second.
Field going into the second inning, and Jace Peterson getting the start at second base today. He was just called back up from Gwinnett. It's been about a month down there, was sent down there to kind of work on his offense a little bit. Still struggled offensively down there, but I spoke to him earlier today, and he told me what separates people are the guys who go out there every day when things aren't going your way, and you just play to get better. He said, Kelsey, that's the kind of player I am. I'm just going to roll with the punches and continue to fight and get back to trusting myself.
Got to do that when you're going through some bad stretches, Kelsey, and we know how tough-minded Jace is. Let's hope he gets off to kind of a fresh start here tonight.
Ben Zobrist leads off for Chicago in the second. What a find he has been for this Cubs club. A .325 average, 8 homers, 36 runs driven in.
Switch hitter. Solid defensively, and oh, by the way, he was on the world champion Kansas City Royals team last year, so he knows what that's about, and also played for Madden in Tampa.
Sharply hit to left. That's the first hit of the game. Zobrist with a leadoff single. And look at what Ben Zobrist has meant to this Cubs offense.
Yeah, there's some of that on-base percentage I was talking about too. Outstanding work.
So a runner aboard for Miguel Montero, the Cubs catcher, hitting just .204 for the season.
Yeah, we've got so many graphics on the Cubs and how great they are and where their ranks are and everything with respect to individuals, the team, and what have you. So when there's a guy up there like Montero hitting .204, whatever it was, we're going to put those up a lot just to show you that they do have a couple of guys that stink.
Yeah, they are human, aren't they? But really, it's really true when you look at what Chicago has done from an offensive standpoint. We were talking about that on the pregame show. They really are on an historical pace.
Yes.
Everybody who follows baseball and follows its history knows about the 27 Yankees with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and company. Well, the Cubs' run differential is on pace with the 27 Yankees.
Yeah, try that on.
2 balls and a strike. I mean, here we are. It's game 69. Excuse me. 59 for Chicago. And they have outscored their opponents by 149 runs. As that one's cut on and missed, and Montero let go of the bat with his right hand. See if he's all right.
Well, that number you gave earlier about their road record, best in baseball, 19-9. But when you're averaging 6 runs a game on the road, it's pretty special.
The 27 Yankees outscored their opponents at the end of the year by 376 runs. That's 2.4 runs a game.
It's crazy.
The Cubs this year are outscoring their opponents by 2.6 runs per game. And a line drive the other way by Montero. So back-to-back hits for the Cubs to left. 2 on, nobody out in the second. And so look at these historic numbers for Joe Maddon's Cubs.
Best ever, 02 Pirates. Got a guy named Honus Wagner on that team, I believe. 1912 Giants, Mel Ott. The A's, I believe that was Jimmy Fox.
Yep. That 39 Yankees team has the all-time record for the end of the season. They outscored their opponents by 411 runs. And at the current pace, the Cubs will pass the 27 Yankees by game 145. Amazing. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Javier Baez. And a swing and a miss. Baez, a #1 pick back in 2011 for Chicago. He's played first, second, third, short, and left. There are a lot of interchangeable parts on the Cub club. Double play ball. Darno flips to second, one. Quick turn, and in time, Baez doubled up. And Brandon Hyde, the first base coach, is pointing out to second to say that Jace Peterson was off the bag on that double play turn. Let's see if the Cubs are right.
No neighborhood play anymore. Got to be on the base. That'll be close.
So Norris got the ground ball to short. And Joe Maddon's not seeing enough evidence to change the call.
That's Dave Martinez, his bench coach, who was waving it off to Joe, basically putting words in his mouth, but maybe there wasn't. It was too close to debate.
So Bud gets a big ground ball out. Here's Addison Russell, the Cubs shortstop.
It's only the 36th double play the Cubs have hit into. Braves have hit into 50.
Runner at third, 2 outs. Taken low. What a deal the Cubs pulled off with the Oakland A's. They got Addison Russell and Dan Straley, outfielder Billy McKinney, and cash for Jeff Samardzija and Jason Hamill. If your first name is Addison, it's almost destiny that you can play at a ballpark surrounded by Addison and Clark streets.
Isn't that the truth?
Russell's just 22 years old. 2 balls and a strike. And that's right there, 2-2.
96 on that pitch from Bud. I think he's pumped up a little bit tonight. Yeah. Oh, what's wrong with the pitch?
Norris took 2 steps toward the Braves dugout. And you know Freddie Freeman's taking a long, hard look at Sean Barber behind the plate.
I wasn't sure that he swung, but I thought that was a good pitch. Box track says no.
Now 3-2. Didn't matter. He blew him away with a 95-mile-an-hour chest-high fastball. Bud Norris with 3 strikeouts. The Cubs strand a man at third. Still no score.
The third selection in the 2016 MLB draft, the Atlanta Braves select Ian Anderson, a right-handed pitcher. Ian is a right-handed pitcher from Shenendehowa High School in Clifton Park, New York.
So you know that's an exciting night for Ian Anderson, the #1 pick by the Atlanta Braves last night. It had to be an exciting moment for you, Brian Bridges, the Braves director of scouting. Congratulations on selecting Ian and a whole host of new Atlanta Braves.
Yes, it was a very good night. We were very excited to get Ian. Of course, we scouted him. We start the process after the last day of the draft, so it's a 365-day process, and we were fortunate enough. We followed the child all the way through the summer, and we did not miss a start anytime he had gotten on the mound. We targeted the child from the get-go.
You say child, he's a big child. He's a big boy.
He is a big boy. It does it very easy.
Wow, what a catch by Albert Almora Jr. in left. Gorgeous play. That takes care of Nick Markakis. That's a cap tipper. Almora's out of Miami, fresh up from the minor leagues and getting a chance to play tonight, and turns in a beauty.
Boy, that is gorgeous. Talk is he might be the center fielder for the Cubs for the next decade once things clear out there. So Ian Anderson, tell us a little bit about him, what you liked about him. Well, if the guys will let us talk to you.
That ball's hammered deep. That ball is gone. Adonis Garcia has hit a homer for the first time since opening day. And the Braves have struck first.
You may have to stay a long time. Things are going here.
Yeah. They got that one.
It's only the 5th home run allowed by Hamill. High breaking ball. Hamill didn't want to look because he knew in Wrigley that's a homer. Turns out, bounced right off the top of something out there.
Take a pitch, Tyler. All right.
So Ian Anderson, 6'3", 170, 75-pound right-hander. Very repeatable delivery. Fastball command was pretty good for a kid his age. He's still 17 years old. Pitches at both sides of the plate. Shows you a plus curveball, plus change. Moves the ball around. Can really get the ball to glove side. Definitely down.
That was one of the things that people kept writing about him, was that he had the best delivery in the draft among the high school pitchers. In what way did he have the best delivery?
It was very directional. His delivery worked more north and south instead of east and west for me. And it would just, at time after time, it was like watching, for me, it would be like watching tennis. It doesn't really interest me, but, he does it so easy and it's so repeatable that, you can't really pick it apart. If you're picking that guy apart, you're probably in the wrong business.
I heard you or someone make the comparison to Mike Mussina with regards to Ian.
No question. I mean, the changeup, the breaking ball, he's got that big 11-5 curveball. He drops it in for strikes. He can take something off of it. He can add and subtract to it. When it's late in the count, he'll try to go after you with a power one.
And Brian, we're going to put up on the screen here in a moment the other picks that you made yesterday. It seems that the Braves' organizational philosophy when it comes to the draft is going back to the way it always was here. Pitching, and then get some more pitching. Was that something you all thought of going into this draft?
We did. You know what? We really keep an open mind. We'd like to get that close back.
Tyler Flowers unloads. That ball's going to go. It's 2-0.
How about this?
Like I said, you're going to have to stick around. Boy, that was a no-doubter.
Hit it high, watch it fly on a hot night in Atlanta. It's 2-0. Back-to-back homers, Garcia and Flowers.
Another breaking ball, another hanger. Hamill didn't want to look at that either.
And so Jace Peterson's back from Gwinnett. And he bounces toward first. That's surrounded by Baez at first. 2 outs. Bryant pitching.
Yes, it was. It just kind of worked out that way. The way the draft was set up, we wanted to go back, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Certain guys go in the draft, you can't control it. But, these are guys we targeted. We had bats that we wanted that may have went ahead of us, but we love what we got.
Well, these two guys, Wentz and Muller, were projected much higher, 25th and 26th. That's a steal where you got them at 40 and 44. How'd that happen?
Well, I can tell you, I think our staff did an outstanding job of getting to know the kids. The kids, they were tough signed kids. They were going to institutions. One was going to Virginia, the other one, I want to say Texas. And it's tough, and they, kids change their mind. And we were fortunate enough that we stayed on the phones with them and got these guys in these Braves uniforms. And the other two you're going to be just excited about.
That's cool. And a couple of catchers.
We got Brett Cumberland. Yes, we went and got Brett Cumberland. Pac-12 Player of the Year, switch hitting catcher, average catch, average arm, and we think he's really got a chance to hit.
Yeah, he's so good they named a mall after him right near the Braves' new ballpark. So that's going to work out just great in the future, Brian. Fans, it's hard, I'm sure, for fans to understand how different the baseball draft is from the NFL or the NBA. College programs are basically de facto minor league systems for those other sports. When fans see you draft pitchers or position players, for that matter, they don't understand it takes sometimes 3-4 years before those guys get here. How does that factor into your drafting philosophy?
I always say that. They are not robots. And we live in a society that people want things not, 2 days down the road. They want them yesterday, or,
sure. Yeah.
So when you take kids like this, and in our organization with Dave Tremblay and Jonathan Sherholtz, and
good swings here this inning, man.
Hamill is getting whacked.
He must have heard you were up here watching.
Rally guess.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that, it just works out that way.
But there's been some criticism, not a lot of criticism, because the fans think, well, the Braves need some position players. Why don't they draft position players? And it doesn't happen, like you said, overnight. It will take a while. But these pitchers you're drafting are like, as they were saying these days, that's currency. If you need to go get a bat somewhere, and these guys develop like you hope they do.
Joe, that is 100% right. My job is to provide the best players for the Atlanta Braves organization as we possibly can. Our staff works very hard. I have Roy Clark that's been with me, every step of the way since I took over. In the draft room this year, we had 50 years of Paul Snyder every single day down there. So he heard everything about every player, and that's what our job is. We're here to provide players for SunTrust Park and for John Hart and John Copuella to make other acquisitions.
This was your second draft. Feel a little more comfortable after the first one last year?
Very much so. Still a lot of sleepless nights, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm surrounded by Roy and these guys, and they're very experienced.
We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that. Roy coming back to the organization, guys coming back to the organization that had been here before, know the philosophy, and draft and scout accordingly. And what a great thing that is for the organization to have you guys all together.
It sure is, and I tell you what, and it's a breath of fresh air.
Yes. Brian, congratulations on your second draft.
Thank you very much.
Still some more work to be done, but appreciate your time. Can't wait to see these kids make it to the big leagues.
Me neither. Thank you, guys.
Brian Bridges, Braves Director of Scouting, our rally guest, helped the Braves score a couple of second-inning runs to lead 2-0. We head to the top of the third inning. And the Braves president of business, Derek Schiller, is upstairs, and you've got a tough act to follow after Brian Bridges.
I'm going to get us 3 home runs this inning. I have just a feeling about it.
In the bottom half.
Yeah, right.
Yes, of course. Come on, Joe.
I didn't want you to jump the gun on it.
Yeah, ease into
Please.
things, Derek. Ease into things.
Please.
Nice to see the Braves back home. Good start against the all-world Chicago Cubs, and you're here to tell us about a new initiative that the Braves have gotten underway here in 2016.
Yeah, it's really an initiative with all of us. So it's part of Fox Sports and Braves Foundation initiative, where we're announcing for the first time our inaugural Community Heroes Week. So it's a way for us to reach out into the community and try to identify people that have inspired us in some significant way, done something special in their community, and we want to recognize them. We want to help that community recognize what that person has meant to their community. So partnering with the broadcasters, and we're going to make a really big deal about it.
Now, who can be nominated? I mean, is this a teacher? Is this a doctor? Is this the kid that runs a lemonade stand? Who?
Well, we didn't want to put any overly specific parameters on it. I think the goal of this is to really try to reach out into the community and understand that there's a lot of people that are doing good work for their respective community across Braves country. And we as the Braves, who are part of the community, want to try to recognize those people and really signify what they mean. So we'll have a series of ways that we'll go about doing that, bringing them here to Turner Field and giving them a special VIP experience. It's a whole day full of really recognition for them. And the culmination of which is having them as part of a pregame ceremony here and ultimately making a donation to a charity that they're involved with.
Would it be fair to say people who are somewhat unsung type heroes in these communities that aren't doing it for any type of recognition?
Almora Jr. rips one to left. That's going to get to the fence, and he can fly. He'll stop at second base. And Albert Almora, just up from the minor leagues, rips a leadoff double.
But obviously for the good of the community, for the good of their area, that type of person.
Yeah, certainly. I think the main thing here is that there are people out there that are really the unsung heroes of some initiative that they're behind. And we have a pretty big mouthpiece between the broadcast that you guys are obviously part of, as well as Braves country and all of what Braves country represents. So this is a way for us to really signify what those people do out there. And you know, we really want to make sure that we're showcasing some of the good deeds that people are doing out there.
This is Cubs pitcher Jason Hamill. Joe Madden doesn't like to sacrifice much with his pitchers, and no sign of a sacrifice with that first pitch.
So if I know someone and I want to nominate them to the Community Heroes, I go online and I go to www.braves.com/inspire, correct?
Simply yes, you do that, and you have from now through July 22nd to make your nomination. It could be a friend, it could be somebody involved with your church, it could be a neighbor, it could be somebody that's affiliated with some sort of community-based organization that you're a part of. And beginning August 16th, that series, August 16th through the 19th, when we're playing the Minnesota Twins and the Washington Nationals, we're going to have every day, we're going to begin that day celebrating one individual person throughout the course of the day, which again at the end of that day bringing them here to Turner Field, having an pregame ceremony, and then ultimately making a donation to their charity.
That's an awesome thing. And there would be 4 such people, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And our hope here is that we really try to find people that are those unsung heroes. So it is why we haven't really put together any kind of overt parameters about this. It's really a way for us to sort of say that there are some really good people out there in Braves country, and we want to try to help them accomplish some of their goals. The foundation, our Braves Foundation, has been doing many things out in our community, and this is a way for us to reach out further and try to identify some people that we can partner up with and really increase that reach and increase the effectiveness of which they go out there and do good things.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Hamill, runner at third, and he serves that one down the right field line. It's sliced foul.
Cool thing is that, to me, is once those people are identified and chosen, they get a great day. They get a red carpet day. but their charity does too. Their charity benefits at the end of the day too.
Yeah, you know, the foundation, Braves Foundation, has been very active out there for a long time. We've given several $1 million of cash and in-kind donations out there in the community. We give to about 100 different organizations each year, and touch ultimately with everything from tickets and memorabilia over 1,000 different organizations over the course of the year. So this is a way to continue to extend that.
Line drive to second. Jace Peterson makes the play. There's the first out. Derek, you get excited about a lot of things, but there's a little gleam in your eye when you talk about this program. You really are excited.
Yeah, there
about
is.
This.
Yeah, you know, several of us as part of the front office serve as officers of our Atlanta Braves Foundation. Probably one of the greatest days of the year that we have is when ultimately all the grants are put together. Erica Newsom and her staff, who've done such a wonderful job with the foundation, helped to summarize some of the grants and all the different things that foundation or that community-based organizations are doing out there. And we get a chance to sit around a table and help figure out what are ways that we can do to help those organizations do the great work. So it is probably my favorite day of the entire year.
Really?
when we get to do that. Absolutely.
Awesome. As Dexter Fowler hits, and a third, one out. Braves leading 2-0. Back-to-back homers from Garcia and Tyler Flowers.
And then, Chip, as you know, at the end of the season, we usually bring all of those foundations that we give grants to out at the Turner Field, and we end up giving those grants away here.
Dexter Fowler gets an RBI. Almora scores from third. That cuts the lead in half. It's a 2-1 game. The wild pitch helps Chicago get on the board.
I think this helps summarize too what you're talking about. The Braves are seeking individuals who are making a positive impact in their community, whether it be through acts of goodwill, overcoming adversity, or raising awareness for a worthy cause. I think those are, while it's not limited to that, I think those are great identifiers right there.
Yeah, certainly. And again, I think there's lots of different ways that we can find these individuals. The key is that we want to signify them. We want to bring them to the table. We want to bring them out here and make really a great day for them. So as I said, if it's a friend, if it's a neighbor, if it's a teacher, you know, all of us are inspired by somebody that does great work around us. And you know, there's sometimes those are the unsung heroes. They don't get enough recognition. So this is a chance for us to try to do our small part in helping them do good deeds and ultimately hopefully extending some of the things that they do out there in the community by making a bigger donation to that charity that they're perhaps involved with.
It's like the People's Choice Awards for community service, really, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, sure.
Ground ball to third. Adonis has that. Hayward's going to be out, and that takes care of the Chicago Cubs. Derek, can't wait to take part in what should be a terrific promotion. Community Heroes Week. Congratulations. Should be awesome.
Thanks, Chip. We're really excited to partner with you guys about this.
presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Thanks again to Brian Bridges and Derek Schiller for stopping in what's been a very busy time in the ball game, but a lot of great information, not only from the baseball side, but the community service side. And good news on the scoreboard too, partner. A couple of homers for Atlanta has them ahead of Jason Hammel and the Cubs by a 2-1 score.
Yeah, unfortunately that wild pitch factored into the run being scored there in the top of the third inning for the Cubs, but maybe the Braves can get back to work here against Hammel.
D'Arnaud, ground ball. Russell has it hit off the heel of his glove. That's into center field. And the leadoff man on for the Braves here in the third. We'll see how it's scored. And that's going to be an error, something that the Cubs have not had happen to them in quite some time.
Yeah, 8 games total. First error in the month of June. Ball came up a little bit on Russell. May have hit a footprint.
His 6th error of the year. And here's Freddie Freeman, who took a disputed called third strike to end the Braves' first inning. And he hits it to left. Almora Jr. is in and puts it away. Markakis was retired by Almora, who made a sliding catch and foul ground up against the padded fence.
What a catch, and then a ripped double. Good looking player.
Got the call up on Monday for the Cubs. And we were told before the game the call up came, if you can believe this, at a very inconvenient time. You think you get sent to the big leagues, there's nothing inconvenient about it. Well, there was an off day for Almora in the minor leagues, and on that off day he was supposed to get married.
Whoops.
So
honey, I love you. I'll see you.
I'll see you soon. As a stolen base by D'Arnaud, he beat that rap easily. Montero's only thrown out 1 base stealer all year.
Yeah, they're not having any luck at all with Montero behind the plate, and Hammel's not very good either. They've been 5 for 6 against him. Smart of the Braves to try to take advantage.
D'Arnaud's 3rd stolen base. And Markakis with an RBI chance. He's got 34 on the year. And that one right there. Two runs on 4 hits for the Braves, all of them in the 2nd inning. Back-to-back homers by Garcia and Flowers. Chance to get a run right back with a 1-out hit from Markakis. And a shot to right. It's going to be caught by Jason Hayward, who makes a terrific sliding catch. We've seen that before here in Atlanta. Hayward with a fine effort, saved a hit, and that's the 2nd out.
And that's why Chase d'Arnaud, who broke initially to try and score, remembered that Jason Hayward's out there, so he had to stop, check, and get back to 2nd. Nice play by Hayward. A couple of high hanging breaking balls cost Hammel a couple of runs in the 2nd inning.
Another hanger, and Garcia fouled it away. Last time the Braves hit back-to-back homers was last August against the Rockies. Adonis Garcia was the 2nd part of that duo. Johnny Gomes Hit a home run off Johan Flambe. Flambe. That's how you pronounce Johan's last name. 0-2 pitch. But he was flambéed.
Yes, he was.
Back-to-back shots by Combs.
Flames.
Yeah.
Flying.
Yes. You can never see it. The screen foul. It's still 1-2. Cubs starters have allowed 3 or fewer runs in 13 consecutive games. Hamels already given up 2 in the first 2 innings. And he just missed a corner. Good eye. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Correction.
Got the corner?
Yeah. One on the house here for Adonis.
And it's rocketed off Hamill. All hands are safe, and let's check out the Cubs right-hander. He got smoked. That hit him flush. Let's see where it got him.
Sounded like it hit skin. At the very least, it saved him a run. He says he's okay. Breaking ball again. This is a good one. Got him on the leg. Looks like. Yeah. Oh boy. Solidly on the outside of his leg, but like I said, it saved him a run.
Fifth hit for the Braves brings up Tyler Flowers. His first hit against the Cubs left the park.
Hey, they had 14 Wednesday.
Right?
14 hits.
One ball, no strikes. I would imagine, Joe, in games like this for the Braves, who, as we know, won just 17 games. This is a big game for Atlanta. Playing a team like the Cubs, it's going to bring out your best, you hope.
You bet. And I was thinking the same thing for Jace Peterson. He gets called up. He's thrown right into the fire against arguably the best team in baseball. How exciting for him.
Lost 6-1 and won 4-3 up in Chicago, and that was in late April and on May 1st. The middle game of that series was rained out and will be made up when we head to Chicago right before the All-Star break.
Hamill's really scuffling here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's missing with his breaking ball up, missing with his fastball up. Espazio's pitching coach.
That might have been his best pitch.
Pretty much untouchable his first 5 starts, and he's been very good his last 6.
Brewers the only team to beat Hamill this year. He gave up 4 runs on May 19th.
You know, wise of Adonis to shorten that lead at first. Do not get picked off here.
The 2-2. In the dirt. Nice stop, Montero. That saved a run.
Yeah, heck of a play. Breaking ball. I'm not even sure if it started anywhere but in the left-handed batter's box.
Garcia's running, swing and a miss by Flowers, and Hamill is out of the Atlanta third. He pitches around an error and a line drive off his leg. We go to the fourth. Braves up 2-1. It's time for tonight's SunTrust Moments That Matter. Let's go back to June of 1990 when the Braves took Chipper Jones with the #1 overall pick in the draft. Look at 18-year-old Chipper Jones out of Bowles School in Jacksonville, Florida. His entire career spanned 19 years with the Braves, and he'll be headed to Cooperstown soon. And there he is.
I was talking to him yesterday and on the off day about where the Braves might go, who they might draft, and we were both of the impression that the Braves would probably go for a pitcher. We just didn't know which one. And as he said, he made a very good point. If there are no Bryce Harpers out there in the draft, and there weren't, then why not accumulate as much good starting pitching as you can to somewhere down the road acquire the position players you want.
And if pitching is currency, I mean, look at what the haul the Braves got for Shelby Miller, for example. It tells you how valuable pitching is in the major leagues. And I know fans want the instant impact bat, like you said. They aren't there, but even if you do have that bat, it's still going to take a couple of years for that player to get to the major leagues in most cases. So the point being, we won't know how good this draft or how bad this draft is for any of the major league clubs for a couple of years down the road.
There were no Bob Horners in this draft.
Right.
Nobody was going to jump right into this lineup.
Swing and a miss by Chris Bryant.
There were no Chris Bryants in this draft either.
Right, exactly. Bryant strikes out for the 59th time in 231 at bats.
Again, look at what the Cubs did during those drafts where they were racking up 100 wins or close to it, and they picked high in the draft, and they got Bryant, they got Schwarber, two outstanding picks that were able to help their club quickly, college players. But again, comparing those two guys to, I'll say, the upper level bats that were available in this draft, there was quite a step down from Bryant and Schwarber.
And so I think over time we'll see which philosophy, short-term, long-term, is going to be the most successful. The Cubs have drafted bats.
They say it was coincidental. They took the best player available when they made their selections. The Braves have opted to stockpile pitching.
Yeah, and see, I don't view it as long term. I don't view this draft the Braves have made as long term. It might be if they hang on to all those guys and all these guys they've acquired through trades, but it may be something that there's a short-term return on. It used to be that you couldn't trade your #1 pick for a full calendar year. As we learned this winter when the Braves were able to get Dansby Swanson from the Diamondbacks, that rule's changed to the end of the season. You got to hang on to him through the end of the regular season.
And so that's my point with regards to Shelby Miller. The Braves traded Shelby Miller to Arizona for Ender Inciarte, position player. They traded for Dansby Swanson, a position player who will be here pretty quickly, I would assume, and Aaron Blair, another pitcher. That's the currency. That's why you stockpile as much pitching as you possibly can. As that's a strike. And a strike 3 for Zobrist. 5 strikeouts for Bud Norris.
He looks sharp tonight. Really sharp. Breaking ball. Zobrist gave up on it and caught the corner.
Two up, 2 down. Bud's retired 5 straight. Here's Montero, the Cubs catcher. He singled his first time and was erased on a double play.
Nobody has enough pitching. Nobody ever has enough pitching. If you talk to managers or general managers, this Cubs team's no different. They are solid through the rotation, but if anything were to happen to any of them, they're thin after that.
So even the vaunted Chicago Cubs might have to go out and trade some of their offensive players for pitching of any kind.
Right.
And I'd rather be on the side that has the pitching. To be honest with you, it's worked very well here in Atlanta forever. And that's off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Cubs are doing this without Schwarber. You know, think about that. He got hurt the first week of the season in Arizona when he tore his knee up in a collision.
Ground ball toward third. Adonis has it. Catcher running. And he throws a strike, and Bud Norris is very sharp. He's due up second when the Braves come back up. We're in the 4th and leading the Cubbies 2-1. Braves lead the Cubs in game 1. Let's take a look at our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard tonight.
Their pitching ranks in the major leagues, not just the National League. That's a lot of firsts, folks, especially that opponent batting average and whip. That means walks and hits per innings pitched. They're not in the stretch very often. 41 quality starts. That's 6 innings with 3 runs or less.
And how about the game plan against Jason Hamill so far tonight? The Braves are getting after him early in the count. 11 at bats with 3 pitches or fewer, and they've put the first pitch in play 6 times so far in the game. And Chase Peterson just got hit. And Hamill looks a little frustrated on a hot night.
Back foot breaking ball. As demonstrated here. That is the epitome of a back foot breaking ball.
Boy, you're on your game tonight.
Well, it's pretty easy when you see that one.
So how about the Braves?
See, 21%. We like to round up. 21% of their hits come on the first pitch of an at bat, so they're putting that to use tonight.
But Norris had a base hit back in the second inning, the third of 4. And he lays down a putt, and it's a good one. And the tag applied by Baez, a successful sacrifice for Bud Norris. And Jace Peterson in scoring position for Malik Smith, who has feasted in these situations.
Hey, what about Bud tonight? We didn't really get to brag on him his first at bat because we were busy talking, but base hit for him too. His second of the year. He's 2 for 8.
Braves are 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight. But they've got the right guy at the right time in Malik Smith, a .448 average with men at second or third base.
Malix and Almora, the left fielder for the Cubs tonight, they have a lot in common. They're both highly prized center fielders who are not playing center field right now. Excellent defensive players, but there happens to be another guy with a little more experience occupying center field.
Ciarte for the Braves, Dexter Fowler for the Cubs, who was almost a Baltimore Oriole. I think everybody in baseball and especially Chicago was shocked that Dexter Fowler came back to Chicago.
Kind of an 11th hour type deal out of Milton High School.
Little roller. Hamill can't get it. Everybody's safe on an infield hit. Malik Smith is 2 for 2, and Braves runners are at the corners.
This is like a drag butt. Get it past the pitcher, and nobody at first.
Alex is figuring things out at this level, and you can't help but wonder how many hits like that will he have in his big league career. With his blazing speed, ought to be a lot. So first and third for Ciarte, who's grounded out and popped out.
Again, do not get picked off. Chance to add on to your lead. I'm not talking about a steal. If he's given the steal sign, that's different. But just don't get picked off if you're not going anywhere.
With 8 steals, he's been caught 7 times. He's got a good lead. He's going. Pitch is lifted in the air toward left. Almora drifts back. Malix will head back to first. Almora will concede the run. It's a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Ender Ciarte. And Atlanta gets that Cubs run back. It's 3-1 in the fourth.
Good job by Ender. Again, jumping on an early pitch. Gets his 3rd RBI. The young outfielder came up on the run to hold the runner at second. Look at Zobrist. That's a veteran thing right there from a guy pointing to the kid in left field like, you did the right thing.
I heard it explained to me once years ago, give the offense what they earn. And Ciarte put it in play, but don't open up a big inning as they'll appeal at second. And apparently Malik Smith did not retouch when he went to second and came back. And now Brian Snitker is going to come out, and he's going to appeal with that with Chris Conroy, the umpire that made the call. So Malik Smith didn't retouch.
Run does count.
Called out on an appeal. He did not apparently re-tag the second base bag after that sacrifice fly.
Picked up his coach to find the ball. Stepped on the bag. Came off of it. And by coming off of it, you then have to retouch the base. If his foot, when it came off, didn't retouch second, then he's out.
Fortunately, the Braves run counted as it's a 3-1 game now.
Yeah, fortunately, otherwise that would have been another horrible base running blunder. And it was bad enough as it was.
But Norris pitching well. He set down 6 Cubs in a row. He has struck out 5 so far tonight. And he's got Javier Baez, the Chicago first baseman. He hit into a double play his first time up and is starting in place of Anthony Rizzo, who, if you're just joining us, is out of tonight's action with a stiff back.
First base coach having a conversation there with Brian Snitker about that base running mistake, I would guess.
Got the 3-0 green light. It's tipped into Flowers' glove. 3-1. Baez, 23, out of Puerto Rico. He was the 9th overall pick in 2011. In fact, for Chicago, Their #1 picks from the 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014 drafts have all appeared in at least one game this year.
I didn't realize Baez was a #1. He can swing it, I know that.
288 average in the minor leagues, hit 289 in limited duty with Chicago last year. They gave him an extended look in 2014 and he hit just 169 with a ton of strikeouts. 95 and 213 at bats that year. Bouncing ball foul, it's still full. But in 2013, he gave the Cubs a glimpse of what could be a very promising future. He hit 37 homers and drove in 111 runs between Single-A and Double-A.
That's a year.
Ripped to third and right, and Adonis. Check the webbing. All's in order. Baez lines out, one away.
That was a breaking ball too. On a 3-2 count. That's when you're glad that it's kind of hooking so that you're catching it over here on the side a little bit. Just in case your webbing doesn't hold.
Addison Russell struck out in his lone at bat. And takes high from Norris, 1 ball.
Bud is bringing it tonight. Another 95.
Well, it's no secret when Bud started for the Braves as a starter early in the season, he was very disappointing. When he went to the bullpen, it looks like he figured some things out. A sub-2 ERA and 8 scoreless appearances out of the bullpen. And as you mentioned, terrific work against the Dodgers, giving up 1 run in 5 innings in a game the Braves were shut out. Here he's leading the Cubs in their offense 3-1.
Well, I'm sure he would say, hey, beginning of the season I wasn't in mid-season form, but he was not throwing anywhere near this hard.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Did Flowers hang on? It was in the dirt. We'll do it again.
Nice job by Sean Barber there, the home plate ump, kind of look around the corner to see if he caught it cleanly.
That's headed for the upper deck. And a fan from Skokie, Illinois made the catch.
Well, another thing the Braves have done here tonight, taking this 3-1 lead, is they've taken the Cubs fans out of it. And there are a lot of Cubs fans here.
It's the lone visit by Chicago to Atlanta this year, and a shot. Nice play, Adonis from his knees. He got it.
Norris is going to come over and give him a high five right there. A great play and then an accurate throw. My goodness.
Remember, Garcia was sent to AAA to play left field. He hasn't played a single pitch in left since coming back here with the big league club. And he's playing third base like he never wants to go out there again. So a great play to Rob Russell, and now Almora bats. He has a double and has scored the lone Cubs run.
good story on Almora that we heard before the game. He wanted the junior put on his uniform to honor his dad, because he's very close to his father, of course, and his dad is battling prostate cancer.
What an unbelievable phone call that must have been for junior to senior. Not only was the family making plans for the wedding, but to call and say those plans are on hold because I'm going to the major leagues.
Yeah, boy. What an uplifting day for his dad on that occasion.
One ball, 2 strikes. Base is empty for Norris. We're in the 5th. Broken back. Jace Peterson to his left. And the throw to first in time. Norris sawed him off at 94 miles an hour. It's a perfect inning and a 3-1 Atlanta lead. The Cubs won as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's time for tonight's Tools from the Dugout feature, brought to you by our friends at the Home Depot.
How about these two guys at the top of the order? The last 3 games, Ender Inciarte 6 for 13. He scored 4 times. You know, I've been talking about Chase Darno and how hot he's been. 7 for 14 over those 3 games. Darno's hit in 4 straight overall. Nice to have guys getting on base at the top of the order who can run. And a tip of the cap to our stage manager, Val Burrell, who is full service stage manager. Popped a button on my sport coat tonight. She's already sewn it back on.
I thought you were going to say thanks for getting all the chocolate chip cookies and the dried mango and stuff.
That too.
Maybe that's why you popped the button on your jacket.
Yeah, could be.
Come to think of it. As Chase Darno leads off and takes a strike. Talked to Chase briefly before the game. Got to perform at Bonnaroo, the big music festival, on the off day yesterday, and he was beaming from ear to ear.
Wow.
He and his band were on stage last night, and I asked him how'd it go. He said, awesome.
I thought that was an off-season concert.
No, it was on the off day. I think it's going on. I want to say Chattanooga, but I may be Manchester, Tennessee. I'm not exactly sure where Manchester is.
Exciting.
So we're told that's near Murfreesboro, Tennessee,
near Nashville.
So what a great way to spend your off day.
Yeah.
A win on the road. Lead your band in song and now come back to Atlanta to face the best team in the National League, the Cubs. And a swing and a miss by Darno. He couldn't get it. And there's the first out for Hamlin in the Braves' 5th. The right-hander has 3 strikeouts so far. Freddie's 0 for 2. He has struck out and he's flied softly to left. o'clock in Atlanta with Joe Simpson and Kelsey Winger. Chip Carey with you from Turner Field, where it's a 3-1 Atlanta lead in Game 1. Game 2's tomorrow afternoon, a 4:10 start. Matt Whistler and Jake Arrieta will hook up.
That'll be a beauty.
And then Sunday is a 1:35 game with Aaron Blair facing John Lester.
Good one there too. Starters the next 2 days right there. Hamill beat the Braves last year and pitched well, but lifetime just 2-4 with a 5.89 ERA overall and a high batting average against.
To first, Baez will flip to the pitcher covering, and 2 are out. Nick Markakis looks for his first base hit tonight. One ball, no strikes. It was so important for the Braves to get off to good starts offensively. This has not been a comeback team this year. And when the opponent scores first, the Braves are 7-29. When the Cubs score first, they're 26-3. So the script for this one has begun exactly how Tyler Flowers and company would have hoped.
When you've got outstanding starting pitching and an excellent defensive ball club and you get ahead, good teams just don't give it up.
But back-to-back homers in the second. A 3rd run in the 4th inning that came home after a hit batsman and a sac fly. As this one's grounded to first, Baez will lead his pitcher to the bag. Atlanta leads 3-1 as we get set for the 6th inning. 9-1-2 coming up for Chicago. Carey. Pretty night as we head to the 6th inning. Hey, our pal Brian Jordan does the honors tonight. As we count down the final games at Turner Field, 51 remain.
If you put your thinking cap on and everybody else did too, you would be hard-pressed to find anyone who's played in Atlanta in any sport that's been a better athlete than Brian Jordan.
I'd agree with that.
You know, Falcons have had great players, Hawks have had great players, Braves have had great players. But somebody who's been as good as Brian was in 2 of those sports,
sure.
Dion probably would come to mind.
But I think Brian had a better baseball career than
Brian
Dion.
certainly did. Brian was a better all-around athlete.
No balls, 2 strikes. And a soft ground ball by Hamill out to second. That'll be the first out. We were just in San Diego when the name Dave Winfield came up. Dave Winfield, one of the great baseball players, was drafted #1 in 3 sports, not just 2. And so I think Brian Jordan is kind of the Braves' Dave Winfield in that regard. And I mean that as a tremendous compliment to both of them. And as great as an athlete as Brian was, you talk about a good guy.
Yeah.
We are truly fortunate to have him on our Braves baseball crew. Does a great job. Dexter Fowler has the Cubs RBI, a ground out to second, and he drives this one towards center, and it's over the head of Inciarte. And Fowler can fly. He'll settle for a double, and he's in scoring position with 1 out.
That ball took off. Did you see that?
Did.
It looked like Ender had a bead on it. He was going to have to really hustle to go get it, but then it just seemed to take off on him. This is a good angle to see that. It's like on the arc of it, it didn't come down like he expected it to, or like I thought it was going to do. It was hard hit.
17 doubles for Dexter Fowler. That brings up Jason Hayward. Jason's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And a swing and a miss. Earlier this season, the Cubs and Hayward got a huge scare when they were out in San Francisco. Jason Hayward always 100% defensive effort. Laid out, made a great catch, and slammed into the wall. And if they were to lose Jason Hayward along with Kyle Schwarber, that would be a huge loss, but obviously for Joe Maddon and the Cubs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just lost Jorge Soler to the DL a couple of days ago with a bad hamstring. That's why Almora was called up.
Look on Hayward, a 119 batting average on pitches inside.
Yeah, he doesn't like the ball down. He stands off the plate.
And that's where they appear to go on this pitch, and it missed. 2-2. That's tipped and caught. Hayward's down on strikes for a second time. He's 0 for 3. And that's a new season high for Norris with number 6.
Nice job by Flowers. That foul tip thing is pretty much luck if the ball finds your glove. He was able to hang on to that one.
But beware Chris Bryant. Bryant riding a 4-game hitting streak. He's 7 for 18 in that stretch. And Chris Bryant, one of 2 players in the National League that has scored 40 runs and has 40 or more RBIs. The only other man to say that is Nolan Arenado.
Arenado's having an MVP type season. Nobody knows about it.
He's got 51 RBIs for the Rockies. And a ground ball to short. Darno's got it. Gloves, grabs, throws low, and Freeman dug it out. And that retires the side. Fowler left stranded in the Chicago 6th. Braves in command, 3-1.
And there's a nice story over from the Cubs side of the field. There's a 7-year-old named Beckham Zobrist, and he was diagnosed with a rare form of eye cancer that starts in the eye before it develops going into the back of the brain, and they told them the only way to really fix it was to remove the eye. So Beckham wanted to say that he wanted to get a new eye. That was the first thing on his Christmas list. And you see right there, he got one with the Cubs logo in it. He got to go to the field and meet some of the players, and he got 2 of his wishes crossed off the list there, a new eye, and he got to meet some of his childhood heroes.
What a great story that is, Kelsey. No relation to Ben Zobrist. Just a great story, and hope he doesn't have to deal with any more of that nonsense.
You bet. Adonis Garcia leads off with a 2-for-2 night. And he's made a couple of excellent plays at third base. So all in all, a great night for the Braves third baseman. Atlanta 3, Chicago 1, 6th inning. And a line drive into right. He's got a 3-for-3 game.
He gets a stare down from Hamill. Like, how'd you hit that pitch? Wearing me out.
Tyler Flowers is coming up for Atlanta with a man aboard and nobody out. It's time for our home field advantage, brought to you by Lowe's.
And it has been a home field advantage for Tyler with respect to his numbers. Big on base percentage, a lot of RBIs, and a 400 average with runners in scoring position. Good to be home, huh, Tyler?
Braves have 7 hits already in this game. The most Hamill's given up is 8. That came against the Pirates on May the 13th. Flowers' 3rd home run extended the Braves' lead to 2-0. That's driven foul to the right side, and quickly 0-2. 2 strikes. Another baseball story today. Jimmy Rollins was designated for assignment by the Chicago White Sox today. The former Philly, former Dodger, still wants to play. See if Jimmy Rollins ends up with another big league club. Garcia's running, and it's lined into the seats.
I don't know if the Orioles have J.J. Hardy back yet.
They don't.
Or not.
They don't.
That might be a club that would jump on Rollins quickly.
Tim Anderson was brought up for the White Sox. He's the next big thing for them, and he had a double in his first big league at bat. So his career is off to a good start on Chicago South Side. Pitch number 72 for Hamill, who's had to work hard. And Tyler cut right through that. He tipped it and is out number 1. 4 strikeouts for Hamill. And here's Jace Peterson.
Six pitches in the 4th, and he gave up a run that inning. He hit Peterson with a pitch to start the inning.
It's kind of funny how baseball comes full circle. Jace Peterson's last major league opponent before his demotion was the Cubs. He was sent down after that May 1st game in Chicago, and now here he is back in Atlanta and starting at second base again. Jay started 26 games at Gwinnett, 16 at second base, 10 games in center field. Runner goes. It's bounced to the left side, and Russell with a bare hand couldn't get Jace Peterson, who has an infield hit.
Braves played a little hit and run there, and Addison Russell did a great job to change his direction and keep that ball from getting into left field. Wonderful job by Jace too to hit it that way to try to put him on the corners. On a hit and run, your primary objective is just put the ball in play on the ground. If it finds a hole, great. At the very least, you've protected the base runner and allowed him to get into second base. So Jace didn't try to do too much. Well done.
Norris can help himself. He's got a single. He has a sacrifice. And this one's bunted foul. Strike 1.
Baez's primary position is not first base. He can play second or third. And he's not concerned at all about overcharging from first base to try to make a play here.
Swinging. Oh, and look, look at Baez at first base.
Baez just put his glove over his face.
So it's 0-2. He got it down with 2 strikes, and Baez off balance through to first, and he ends up in foul ground past the third base line.
What a play. Great bunt by Button to help himself again. Bryant went racing back to third in case they had a play there, but throwing blindly basically to first base. Baez gets an out.
So Joe Madden very slowly makes his way to the center of the diamond. And that is going to be the end of the line for Jason Hammel. He is chased after allowing a season high tying 8 hits, 3 runs across. He's not a happy camper as the Braves lead 3-1. The tweet of the week. This week's question is, how would you grade day 1 of the Braves draft? Tweet us at Fox Sports South using Braves 2016 draft, and your answer could be read during our Braves Live post-game show. Our thanks to Brian Bridges for spending a half inning with us to talk about what's been a very busy last couple of days. And a tip of the cap to Brian and his entire staff. As you heard him say, the draft starts the day after the previous year's draft, so it's truly a 365-day-a-year job.
Interesting matchup here. Malix has had a lot of trouble with lefties. He's just 3 for 39, but a chance to add to the Braves' lead against Travis Wood.
He cut at the first pitch and fouled it away. Steve, rank 1.
Of his 3 hits, 2 are doubles. Wood is high 80s, low 90s fastball with a cutter and a slider.
Wood's been a starter most of his big league career. As recently as 2014, he made 31 starts. He moved to the bullpen last year after starting 9 games, pitched in 54 games total, and 102 2/3 innings, 118 strikeouts. Former Cincinnati Red. Malix with a chance for a big hit. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. Bouncing ball to 3rd. Backhanded play by Bryant. High throw. But the play is made and that retires the side. So Wood saves the day for Jason Hammel, who trails 3-1 as we head to the 7th.
Braves baseball is sponsored by Delta Airlines, your local Ford dealer, the Home Depot, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Time for the 7th inning on a beautiful night for baseball in Atlanta. The Cubs are in town and the Braves are beating them 3-1 after 6. But Norris has been outstanding. He's allowed a run on 4 hits. And Ben Zobrist leads it off for Chicago. This man was a very highly sought after free agent. The Mets tried to get him, you might recall.
They put a full court press on him.
And when Zobrist ended up in Chicago, they got Neil Walker. Zobrist leads baseball with a .436 on-base percentage. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, that thing had some bite on it, right in on his thumbs.
Zobrist had a 25 RBI month in May. 18 of those RBIs came with 2 outs. He's been a true clutch performer in his first season with the Cubs. Ground ball second. Jace Peterson from the cut of the outfield grass gets his man. Good start for Norris. 1 away in the 7th. Here's Montero 1 for 2.
Yeah, his pitch count's very manageable right now, 92. But as you saw, Brian Snitker has a couple of guys up just in case he runs into a problem here in the middle of their order.
Bud went 7 innings on April 6th. He's gone 5 1/3 innings as his second longest start.
That might have been his first start. Right?
It was. That 7-inning game against the Nationals. As Montero takes a ball, 1 ball, no strikes.
If Bud returns to the form he had in 2014 with the Orioles, when he won a postseason game for them in 16 games, that's going to be quite an asset for the Atlanta rotation. And he's pitching like that tonight.
You did that series in postseason, did you not?
I did, against the Orioles and Tigers. And Baltimore, who had a great team, swept Detroit and beat Verlander, Scherzer, and David Price. And Bud Norris, my recollection is he won the 3rd game against Price in Detroit.
Ground ball foul. Now Bud in 2014, 28 starts. 15-8 with a .365 ERA. That 16th win, that playoff game you spoke of. Bouncing ball to second. Jace gets a friendly hop, and that takes care of Montero. 2 out.
And keep in mind he pitched at Camden Yards, which is a hitter haven.
So he's got 2 quick outs. He's got Baez coming up. He's hitting to a double play and hit a rocket to third baseman Adonis Garcia. I've got 11 outs for Norris on the ground. He has struck out 6.
Bud Norris's line in that playoff game against Detroit in Detroit, pitched into the 7th inning, 6 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts.
And with a Tiger lineup that has Miguel Cabrera in it, that is saying something.
Yep.
How commanding has Norris been tonight? there's been one out made by a Braves outfielder. That was off the bat of Chris Bryant to end the first inning.
69 strikes, 30 balls.
And still throwing 95 miles an hour at the 100 pitch mark on the hottest night of the year so far. Very impressive. Mile high pop-up. Who wants this? It's going to be Ciarte. He's got it, and Bud Norris sends us to the 7th inning stretch. He enjoys a 3-1 lead over the vaunted Chicago Cubs.
We're in the 7th inning stretch, and it is time for your Xfinity game break. We'll head over to Washington, where the Nationals are hosting the Phillies. It's a tied ball game, 4-4 in the 5th. Daniel Murphy at the dish, and he breaks up the tie with a 2-run double in the 5th, scoring Ben Revere and Bryce Harper. Nats now lead 9-4 after trailing 0-4 early on, guys.
And that's a Steven Strasburg game tonight, Kelsey. He's trying to go to 10-0 on the year. Phillies have hit the skids. They've lost 14 of their last 19 games. That ties them with the White Sox for the roughest stretch in baseball during that span. And Ender Inciarte keeps on swinging early in the count. Inciarte has a base hit to go along with the sacrifice fly and an RBI. And an excellent start for Atlanta in the bottom of the 7th.
And one more run. Not to mention 2, but one more run would be huge right now.
As we mentioned, this might be a great opportunity for Inciarte to do some running. What with the throwing troubles of Miguel Montero, Braves do have a stolen base tonight, and that's owned by the man in the batter's box. But we will wait a moment as Chris Bosio makes his way to the mound. He's the Cubs pitching coach. Fans, MLB.TV Premium's the #1 live streaming sports service, and it delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. That includes a free subscription to At Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. That's Adam Warren. He begins to loosen. As d'Arnaud will face Travis Wood. d'Arnaud 0 for 3, but reached on an error by Addison Russell. That led off the home third. And there's that near balk move by Travis Wood. And Inciarte's asking about that with Ron Culpa. on a corner, no balls and a strike. That's fouled to the right side into this big crowd here for the start of this big weekend and Friday night fireworks. Expecting big crowds all weekend. 4 o'clock start tomorrow for Whistler and Arrieta. After the game, it's movie night. Ferris Bueller's Day Off on a big screen. Kids can run the bases on Sunday. Hope you'll join us as we wrap up the series with the Cubs. Reds will be in next. That'll be a 4-game series starting Monday night.
Cubs are 6-1 against Cincinnati. They are 4-0 against the Nationals. It was a 4-game sweep at Wrigley.
No balls, 2 strikes. The Reds got some good news tonight. Anthony DeSclafani is back and pitching for them. At one point they had 5 starters on the disabled list. DeSclafani was on the 60-day DL with an oblique problem. Tonight he's making his first start for the Reds, and they're beating Oakland 2-1. Game at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati and in the 8th. Just missed. He's right.
Like a cutter that he tried to hit that outside corner with.
Bouncing ball right side. The throw to second is in time, and that's going to force Ender Inciarte.
Braves are yelling for Inciarte to stay there until they take a look and see if Russell kept his foot on the bag. I believe he did. Dragged it across the back. You could even see the base move.
So 1 on, 1 out for Freddie Freeman. He's our cold hard fact subject, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
Cold, hot, cold for his season. Down, up, down, but after that series in San Diego, looks like he's on the way back.
Freddie's looking for his first hit tonight. Struck out in the first, flied out to left in the third, bounced out to first with the pitcher covering in his last at bat. Woods' assignment in this 7th will run through Freeman and Markakis. If the inning continues past that, they've got Adam Warren for the right-handers, Garcia and Flowers, who are lurking on the lineup card. Ball 3.
Pretty laying off some tough pitches, sliders and cutters.
and 4 straight puts Freeman at first. Darno moves to second. He can motor, and Nick Markakis is the hitter. Well, Nick has said he hates hitting with the bases empty. They're not empty now, and those are 2 big insurance runs that my partner was talking about here in a 3-1 Braves game late.
Nick 1 for 1 against Wood. He's first pitch swinging. Great splits for him in this situation.
One ball, 1 strike.
Those are some pretty good crossfire pitches, lefty to lefty, but they're just wide according to Fox Tracks. Everything was outside to Freeman too as they worked that cutter and slider away. Maybe Nick can serve one to left.
He did, but Almora's there to make a sliding catch. Let's be honest, the Cubs have 3 center fielders in their outfield tonight. And Almora's had a great night defensively for Chicago. And that line drive out is the 2nd of the inning, and that's going to be the end of the line for Travis Wood.
Nice break on it too coming in.
So Adam Warren will come on and try to cool off a red-hot Adonis Garcia, who's 3 for 3 tonight. We'll see if he can provide a 2-out hit and extend the Braves' lead. Ball is gone. Adonis Garcia has hit a homer for the first time since opening day. Tyler Flowers unloads. That ball's going to go. It's 2-0.
Boy, that was a no-doubter.
Those homers are Yellowwood brand bringing the lumber feature as Atlanta's done that to Chicago tonight. Back-to-back homers for Garcia and Flowers in the 2nd, and Bud Norris hasn't looked back.
Adam Warren's done a good job coming in these type situations for the Cubs. Only 5 of the 15 runners he's inherited have scored, and he's retired 17 of 21 first batters faced, which is all important in these situations. Mid-90s fastball, slider, and a changeup.
Adam Warren traded in his Yankee pinstripes for the Cubs home pinstripes. Chicago traded Starlin Castro to the Yankees to get the native of Riverview, Florida, Adam Warren. No balls and a strike for Garcia, who's got a perfect night working. He's 3 for 3. Just missed. 2 balls and a strike. Warren will issue a walk or 2. He has walked 12 men. Behind in the count, wants to talk it over with Montero here. It's an interesting dilemma that the Cubs have with regards to their pitching staff. Their starters, as you said, are so good and never miss a start. Their bullpen has been equally good. They've only thrown 151 innings so far this year. There was some talk that maybe the Cubs might try to get Andrew Miller from the Yankees to bolster their bullpen. In fact, some suggested, well, would you do a Kyle Schwarber for Andrew Miller deal?
Well, I can't see that happening. But when they've only thrown 150 innings, I'd say they're well rested.
And so my point is, there's the 3-1 pitch. You'd like to say they're very, very good, and maybe they are, but they really haven't been tested all that much yet.
Yeah,
so you don't know if that's a strength or really a weakness as you move through the season.
Starters go so deep in ball games that it's hard to know.
So the runners will go with a 3-2 count for Adonis Garcia. Darno and Freeman aboard. There they go. The pitch is bounced foul.
Here's an interesting thought. How easy down there. He just fell.
He just fell over. He wasn't trying to get on the field. He just reached for that foul ball and rolled over the stands.
There you go. Just got to go back to his seat. No harm, no foul. Anyway, their closer, Rondon, only has 11 saves. They've got 41 wins. They haven't had that many opportunities.
Right. Runners go. Ball 4. There's that walk from Warren, and now they're loaded.
There was close pitches this inning and close sequence. And Joe Madden wants to know from Montero where that pitch was.
So Tyler Flowers bats with the bases loaded. Braves have the bases loaded. They have 1 hit in the inning. Ball 1. A place to put Braves catcher, who's hitting for the 3rd time this year with the bases full of Braves. Have left 6 men on base tonight. They have a 3-1 lead. Bottom of the Cubs orders coming up when we get to the 8th. Fly ball well hit center. Fowler retreats. He's going to have room. That will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit.
The Braves strand 3. We go to the 8th with a 3-1 lead. Saturday, June 25th for a free post-game concert, all part of the Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines Summer Concert Series. It's a concert you won't want to miss. Go to Braves.com/concerts and get your tickets today. Well, what a way to start the weekend. Bud Norris was brilliant. The Braves got a couple of early home runs. And it's a 3-1 score with 6 more outs to get for the Braves' second win over the Cubs in 3 tries this year.
Well, it'll have to come from the bullpen. 6 outs to get. And Jim Johnson gets the first call off the disabled list out west. An inning at Los Angeles, a hit, no runs. An inning in San Diego in his next outing, 2 hits and a run. And then a couple of days ago, an inning with zeros across and a strikeout, and he looked real sharp.
He was throwing 94, 95 in that final game against the Padres. So the 8th inning starts with the 7th place hitter for the Cubs, Addison Russell, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Remember, they have Anthony Rizzo, who couldn't start today. Don't know if Rizzo's available, but he's a big left-handed bat who might be available to pinch hit. So no free passes, no hit batsman either. To short. Darno got the big hop and a perfect throw, retires Russell. 1 down in the 8th.
What an outing, though. You're right, by Bud Norris, and no walks. He had a wild pitch that hurt him that kind of led to that run in the 3rd inning, but 4-hitter, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Terrific outing, and that backs up the one he had in L.A., which was also good.
So yeah, for Bud, in his last 12 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs. You'll take that, won't you?
You bet.
As Albert Almora Jr. is the batter, he's doubled and has scored the lone Chicago run. Newly acquired Chris Coughlin waits on deck.
Salmora to a knee. Asks if it was a strike. The answer was yes. 2 down.
Johnson looks sharp again tonight. Breaking ball. Fooled him big time. Cubs fans appreciating having Chris Coghlan back. He had a big year for him last year.
$30,547 are here, and a line drive to second ends the inning for the Cubs. Jim Johnson got him in order, 3 up and 3 men down. Atlanta leads 3-1. Home 8 coming up. Guests at the ballpark Thursday, June 23rd. You'll receive a Nick Markakis bobblehead presented by Delta Airlines. Get your tickets now at Braves.com/tickets. Don't forget to stay tuned after our ball game for Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Jerome and Brian Jordan will have all the details from Game 1 of our series here before a big crowd in Atlanta.
The pitcher for the Cubs is a guy that Joe Madden will use a lot against lefties. Justin Grimm, fastball, curveball. Six walks, 23 strikeouts in 21 innings. See, left-handers not doing too much with him.
And he's got a lefty to start things for Atlanta. Jace Peterson back from Gwinnett. Jace tonight 1 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch and he scored the all-important third Atlanta run.
You know, with Kelly Johnson traded, opportunities will exist here for Jace. Love to see him get back on his first half horse from last year.
That's looped into left, and that's going to fall for a base hit. So Jace Peterson does come back with a good night. 2 singles and 3 tries, and he can run. He's aboard to start things off. Braves have put the leadoff man on 5 times in tonight's game. And now Jeff Francoeur will bat for Jim Johnson. Jace is running. He got a great jump. No chance at all for Montero, who threw from his knees.
What happened? They're going to send him back. I'm not sure what that was about, but they're going to make Jace go back. Brian Snitker wants to know.
I think Sean Barber called time before that pitch was delivered.
Kidding me, really? I mean, Jace was sliding in before Montero even let go of the ball. Oh, I see what happened.
Oh,
you know what? The arm, Montero's arm, as he's throwing from his knee, reached back and hit Barber in the mask. You know what I say? Shouldn't have thrown it from your knees. When Montero reached back to throw, he hit Barber's mask, and it was basically umpire interference. Right. Call it that. What a shame.
Well, Jace can go again.
Yeah.
As Jeff Francoeur, riding a 4-game hit streak, stands in. He's got 5 hits in that stretch. Not going, and the pitch is strike. Jeff has 2 pinch hits. One of those hits turned into an RBI. And that moves to corner. 2 balls, 1 strike, just past 10 o'clock in Atlanta. Good ball game. Braves and Cubs, game 1 of the series. Whistler and Arrieta here tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Nowhere near. 3 balls and a strike.
Montero set up like a pitch out. I guess expecting Jace to run at some point. But he's set up so wide, there's no chance that Jeff's going to offer one out there.
There's a shot deep short. Russell can't get it. And all hands are safe. Pinch hit single for Francoeur, and the Braves are in business. 2 on, nobody out.
Fastball supposed to be away. Belt tie and hit hard. Again, Joe Madden out of the dugout. He's expecting a bunt. So we'll see if the Cubs put on some type of play.
As Joe Madden made his way to the pitcher's mound, Cole Porter met with Malik Smith down the third base line. Alex has 2 more hits in the game tonight. The Braves have 11 hits in tonight's game. Another run would be welcome. It's a 3-1 game.
They might have had another run if Peterson hadn't been waved back to first.
So 2 on, nobody out. Let's see what Malix does. 0-1.
Ideally, you'd like to bunt this to third hard enough to make Bryant field it. If you see that shortstop breaking to third base, then take the pitch.
Alex got the bat back. 2-0. Same pitch, same result. It's 3-0.
Well, let's see if he's still bunting, or if you are confident enough in his bunting ability, you take one. Oh, mercy.
That Did not appear to be a strike.
That was ball 4.
So a 3-1 count. He lays it down but foul. So from 3-0 to 3-1. Appeared to be ball 4. Now a full count.
Swinging or bunting?
Let's find out. Swinging, and he took ball 4. Bases are loaded. No answers for Chris Bosio or Joe Madden at this point. Grimm's come in, 2 hits and a walk to load them up, and now Ender Inciarte is the hitter.
They've got some action in their bullpen, but it's Clayton Richard. The way Bosio was shaking his head, it was like he wasn't ready.
Yeah, he just got up. So Montero buys a little time, but not enough to prevent Grimm from having to face Inciarte, it would appear. But let's wait and see. Joe Madden.
As soon as he comes out of the dugout, they got to make a change. They've already been out there once.
And Joe Madden is very slowly going to call timeout. And these experienced managers like Joe Madden know how to work that clock.
Well, they got no choice. It's a second trip. What's Jerry Meals waiting on at third base? He already went out there for the bunt.
That bought some time for Clayton Richard to get loose, and on he comes in a big mess that favors the Braves late.
Is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers, Let's Go Places, the Georgia Lottery, and Synovus, the bank of here.
Hope you'll join us here at Turner Field tomorrow. It's game 2 of our series, game time 4:10. Afterwards, a movie on the big screen will be the perfect ending to what we hope to be a great afternoon at the ballpark. Matt Whistler and Jake Arrieta, the pitchers. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is the movie. Find out more online at Braves.com/movie. So it's there for the taking for Atlanta against Clayton Richard, who's on for the 19th time. Bases are loaded, nobody out.
And you see lefties are having their way with him. A .440 average, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts in 10 innings. He's mostly fastballs. He's about 84% fastballs with a slider and a change occasionally. Infield in.
Peterson scores. The Braves play it station to station. And a big RBI hit for Ender, and Ciarte extends the lead. It's 4-1.
He's equaled his season output in RBIs with 2 tonight. He's up to 4, and another first pitch base hit. Low 3/4 sidearm delivery. Ender didn't flinch, stayed with it, poked it through the drawn-in infield. Big run. How about some more? Cut down on their run differential.
There you go. Well, they're 3 behind tonight.
That's right.
And here's Chase Darno, infield still in. Clayton Richard, former Chicago White Sox and San Diego Padre, missed with ball 1. Clayton Richards had all kinds of left shoulder problems. Muscled up and threw that one 92 though, and it's fouled away, even count.
That's about the top end for him.
Richard 1 year with the Padres, went 14-14 in 2012, gave up 31 homers. One ball, 2 strikes. That's saying something in the big ballparks that Padres have played in. Was traded from the White Sox to San Diego for Jake Peavy.
That was a pretty good fight off. It was a fastball, but it almost looked like Chase was anticipating something off speed, and just at the last second made sure he didn't take a call third.
Swing and a miss. That ball almost hit him. Darno looked like he had his mind made up. He was going to swing. And he's the first out of the inning. And it sets up lefty versus lefty with Freddie Freeman.
And first base occupied, less than 2 outs. He can't run. Freddie has not been overly aggressive early in the count like we normally see him. Like he's had some hitters counts each of the last 2 at bats, if not 3.
Jumped on that one and drives it deep left. Almora back to the warning track. He's got room deep enough to bring home Jeff Francoeur. The second fly, the throw to third is late, and the Braves extend the lead to 5-1. It's been a fun night for the Braves offense. A team that doesn't hit many home runs has gotten 2 of them. But Joe, they've really taken advantage of what the Cubs staff has given them in this game. Hit a couple of sacrifice flies, have cashed in a hit batsman, and they've manufactured 2 critical runs in the 8th.
I think early on those 2 homers, and then an out later, 2 more hard hit base hits in the second inning, kind of set the tone for everybody. Everybody got some confidence from that, and went up there and had some great at bats against Hamill the rest of the night, and now into the bullpen.
So 2 more out there for Nick Markakis with 2 outs. And he taps one over the mound. Russell, nice play from the shoot tops. And that retires the side. Braves cash in 2 runs, 3 hits, and take a big lead of 5-1 into the 9th against Chicago.
Braves baseball is sponsored by Georgia Power and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Well, pardon us if the Braves blow their own horn tonight. They're beating the Cubs by a 5-1 count after 8 innings. And friends, a reminder, Flow Ride is coming to the ballpark Saturday, June 25th. A free post-game concert. Our friends at Coca-Cola and Delta present our summer concert series. Don't want to miss it. Go to Braves.com and get your tickets today. Not a save situation for Arodys Vizcaíno.
No, but he had a good comeback after the blown save in San Diego and pitched well that last game. His first blown save of the year came in Chicago, but the Braves rallied in the 10th inning to get him the win that day. And he's a former Cub.
He's got the top of the order and Dexter Fowler and a 97-mile-an-hour strike. Swing and a miss. The Braves got Vizcaíno with Melky Cabrera in the Javier Vazquez deal in 2009. He tore his elbow ligament, had Tommy John surgery. The Braves traded him to the Cubs for Paul Maholm and Reed Johnson. He was then on the Cubs DL until the end of the 2013 season, recovering from that Tommy John surgery. And the Braves then reacquired Vizcaíno with 3 international bonus pool slots, number 2, 3, and 4, for Tommy La Stella after 2014.
That'll come in handy come July 1st or 2nd, whatever that is, for the international signings.
And Fowler took that low, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that's been good for the Cubs too, because Tommy La Stella has played real well for them.
Atlanta 5, Cubs 1. Fowler battles to make it 2-2. Crowd oohing and eyeing at the velocity. Pitch missed.
Yeah, let's not let the Cubs fans get into this.
No. Headed foul left side over the Chicago dugout. And we'll do it again, 3-2. Little tapper out towards second. Long throw, and Fowler's out by a stride. Vizcaíno gets the first man in the top of the ninth. Braves Live, presented by Xfinity, is on deck. Jerome Jurinovich, Brian Jordan, Kelsey Wingard will take inside the Braves clubhouse to hear from Brian Snitker and the Braves players as we start game 1 of a 7-game homestand tonight with the Cubs and then the Cincinnati Reds. A hitless homecoming for Jason Hayward. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Talked to Jason before the game briefly in the Cubs locker room. Asked him if family was going to be here for the game. He said nope, they're down with Jacob at the University of Miami watching him play for the Hurricanes.
Super regionals.
Swing and a miss.
Took a little off. Nice pitch.
Jacob, a fine player in his own right. There's Joe Madden running out of options and running out of outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's yanked foul. And out of play. Here's Hayward. One of the more remarkable debuts in Atlanta Braves history. The first major league pitch he saw came against Carlos Zambrano and the Cubs, and he hit a long home run. And Turner Field went crazy. Now back with the Cubs after a season in St. Louis with the Cardinals. 1-2 pitch off the plate. Now 2-2. Mason starting the first of an 8-year contract with some opt-outs with Chicago.
Still has that last second change in grip where he wraps that top hand around the bat. A habit that he has not been able to break.
Swing and a miss. Hayward strikes out for a 3rd time tonight. And the Cubs are down to their last out.
Another good slider. And he wasn't trying to be tricky with it. He was just throwing it for a strike. Took his chances. He's got a 4-run lead.
So Chris Bryant, the final hope. Cubs fans are awfully quiet. Foul ball, strike 1. 30,000 plus here in Atlanta. Going to see the Braves win their 7th home game.
Certainly is. And that slider, which is 87, looks like an off-speed pitch. He's throwing for strikes, which is close enough to the plate that he's getting swings and misses.
0-2. Tipped and caught Nick Chibongi. The Braves get the weekend off to a great start. One of their most complete games of the season. Well pitched, well defended, power. They manufactured some runs, and they held this vaunted Chicago club to only 4 hits in 9 innings of play tonight. 5-1 is your final. Braves off to a good start. Back to recap it after this.
This copyrighted